We never know. I mean, maybe that is what it is. Maybe I would say cruiserweight. I understand that he's talking heavyweight as far as Stiverne, but he hasn't been hit by a heavyweight before. So, stamina-wise, he would be a small heavyweight as far as, remember when Roy Jones moved up to heavyweight, a lot of people didn't think he would be able to beat John Ruiz, believe it or not. He did, despite a little bit of controversy. Jean Pascal maybe just talking because maybe Roy Jones told him he probably could do it. Jean Pascal, fighting at light heavyweight, he probably walks around, maybe at close to about 200 pounds. And he would put on about 10 more pounds of muscle, I guess. But jumping from 175 to heavyweight over 200 pounds, and it's not saying he would actually be 200 pounds. Because you can fight for a light heavyweight. I mean, you can fight for a heavyweight title at 160 pounds if you wanted to. But what I'm saying is, putting on that 25 pounds, just jumping over 2 divisions, that's the biggest leap you can possibly jump. And then, can you imagine? Okay, well, Jean Pascal versus, I don't know. I don't know. And he already, for a 175-pound fighter, looks kind of big. So I'm trying to, with him fight, okay, all right, here's the way I look at it. I personally don't think it's healthy for fighters when they get to 175 pounds to jump out to heavyweight because of that big 25-pound increase. A lot of fighters who fight at heavyweight normally have fought at smaller divisions to whereas they may have ended their career at light heavyweight. For example, I'll never see Bernard Hopkins fighting at cruiserweight. And if he did fight at cruiserweight, it'd be something like 185 or something. I don't think it'd actually be at the 200-pound limit. But to whereas if Jean Pascal was to jump up that 25 pounds, then get beat down by a real, genuine heavyweight, does he drop back down that 25 pounds or whatever to go back to light heavyweight? I just think it's a bad move. But at the same time, I'm asking myself, well, how would Jean Pascal do at cruiserweight? Maybe the issues with his conditioning and stamina, what we've seen over the last several fights, maybe that would be improved in the cruiserweight division. And honestly, me personally, with the landscape, I think that Jean Pascal would be a pretty good cruiserweight. And I'm not saying he has to blow up to 195 or, 199 pounds. I'm saying that, 190 for Jean Pascal, that seems to be a good, no more than 195, and he works his way into it. I see that to be a good division for him. But as far as light heavyweight is concerned, honestly, I don't know. And I can understand that Stiverne versus Jean Pascal at heavyweight in Canada, would be a very, very big fight. But let's be realistic. Since being knocked out by Sergey Kovalev, stopped by Sergey Kovalev, I don't really see what there is to do for him at the 175-pound division. Yes, he can get a rematch, but once again, the issues with the conditioning still remain. There's questions, Jean Pascal. There's questions. So, Adonis Stevenson, maybe, I doubt that would happen, but it could. Artur Beterbiev, could. Mohammedi, who's supposed to be fighting Kovalev next, it could. But realistically, where is going to be where else is the big money at 175 for Jean Pascal? Unless somebody from 175, from 168 moves up, maybe an Andre Ward versus a Pascal. I would like to see that. But listen, that's all speculation. It's not going to happen. I'm T-Street Controversial with RealCombatMedia.com, and I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.